Alrighty, guys, we're going to go on to our next topic. It's going to be stop getting into debt over video games.
Ooh, Ricky, how you doing today?
In debt.
Are you ready for another intervention?
Soon. Not yet.
Not yet.
I got to buy another lot first.
Oh, okay. So, Curtis, this was... Who brought up this topic, by the way?
I just did.
Great
for
one.
me.
No, I meant like who came up with this topic. Was it you?
I think it was me. Yeah.
That's a good one. Stop going into debt over collecting. And I think this is an interesting one, right? Because let's say this. There's things you can hate on in the collecting scene, right? We talk about a lot, resellers get hate, scalpers, whatever, whether it's justifiable or not. We've talked about hoarding can have some hate. But we never really talk about the actual debt or problem people go into when they're not just hoarding, right? Hoarding's a different issue. Like, well, you don't have room for this stuff. What are you doing buying it? What are you doing? Sometimes the real question is, I know you technically can buy that because you just did on a credit card or however you bought it. Curtis is going poop. You getting a big poop out, Curtis? Oh, get it out, baby. He's going to go poop. People sometimes will go into actual debt buying things, right? And there's a difference when you're reselling because you can, re-incur that money. You can sell this stuff. You can remake the money back. Yeah. Dude, did you even wipe?
Hi.
Yes. Okay.
All right, we're back.
Okay. You can make that money back. But I'm more speaking to, and hopefully we don't get, hey, I'm more speaking directly to the collectors that I know. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, there's not a lot of people like that. There's not. I know a lot of people who are collectors who go into debt and spend money they absolutely do not have.
Yep.
Right? When their family needs something, right? And that's a problem. That's a real problem, right? You're not intentioning on reselling. You're not going to flip it back. You're just, no, I want to collect it, but I know we're struggling to pay rent, right? We see it
a lot.
What are your thoughts on that? Christopher, who's looking at me so serious.
Well, I mean, my thoughts on debt is there's always good debt. There is not all debt is bad.
Of course.
Right? Like if you go to buy a home, that would be considered good debt.
Yes, it's good debt.
If you bought a car, typically considered bad debt, although you need a car.
Yes.
Right?
What about school loans?
School loans you might categorize as good debt, but not always. I mean,
I'll tell you what, I worked in a nuclear plant with a bunch of men, like
debt.
17 men around me who all had engineering degrees, and they're like, yeah, we're talking about debt. And I was like, that's cool. I got the same job as you guys. I got here because of seniority.
Dude,
No school.
Regardless, it's bad debt for me. So,
No, obviously we're not saying it's bad. It
well,
just depends.
typically, like a house is considered good debt because you're buying it as an investment. It's going to hopefully go up in value. It's going to appreciate.
Yep.
Right. And then there's lots of other advantages, tax reasons and stuff, why a house might be good debt. Like buying a business might be good debt, right? You're investing in something with the hope of, right. So we incur debt to buy that, right? So there is good debt.
Yes, absolutely.
My take on video games, if you are down to your last, like, $100, don't go buy video games, unless you're going to flip it right away with that $100.
Now, what about those who aren't on their last 100, but they don't? Okay, let's say this. You're not in your last 100, right? But you don't maybe own a home yet. You don't have a reliable car. You've been wanting to take your wife on vacation for years. She's wanted to go and you can't afford it, but you're still buying the video games.
Well, so I've bought like a lot of video games, of course, over the years, a lot of them through the stores and just from collecting and stuff. Some of that is like instant flip, make money back. But a lot of them I do tuck away, as long-term investments.
Yes, you do.
Right, which I do. So
Speculator.
To me, that's good debt. I feel I can afford to do it. I'm still doing the things you mentioned. So it's not like down to like the wire with it. But a lot of that to me is good debt because I am buying these games with the intention of, okay, this is a long-term hold for me. These are going to be worth more someday.
I get that, but I want the other side.
If you're down
I'm talking the people because you're a businessman. You have the intent of flipping someday. Even I'm talking, and again, I'm not talking down on anybody. This is asking questions that should be asked. I'm talking the guy who's buying, and it'll just sit there, and he doesn't care. He just wants it there because he wants it there.
Yeah, like where's the line drawn between like wanting a video game and
what do we ask Ricky?
And your financial security?
Look at Ricky fidgeting.
I would just say, just to finish that, if you're down to the wire on it, like you should not be incurring that debt. It should still be disposable income, meaning it's extra money that you have that isn't going to break the bank.
It's your hobby.
Right.
If it's just a hobby.
And even if it is a hobby/investment, any of the collectible stuff should be like ancillary income that you have.
Yes.
It's everything else comes first. Now I can maybe go spend some money.
Yeah, and like if your hobby's
priority.
golfing and your family's struggling, then maybe cut back on the golfing. It could be anything.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
It should be family, food in my mouth, rent, bills, okay, all that's covered. Now maybe I have some extra money.
Yes.
That's my opinion on it.
Yes. Now let's ask everybody. Moment of silence before Ricky. Curtis looks like he wants to kill somebody. What the heck? I just looked over. He was giving Ricky the death eye.
No, I was literally not trying to yawn. That was my thing. I was
Are you tired, bro?
Huh? Yeah, dude, I'm a working man.
So are we. No, go ahead, Ricky. Let's hear it.
I mean, here's the thing with me is I don't do credit cards because I'm scared of credit cards.
Oh,
but
nice.
the guys I see are the ones that are doing the credit cards. That scares the heck out of me because there's no way. Like, I mean, we've seen it a couple of times where there's dudes that literally max out their credit cards. They do all that stuff. And then at the end of the day, they're like, oh, shoot, I need to make bills. They start selling those games for cheaper than what they bought it for. So they're putting themselves in even worse debt. Yeah.
And
I've probably done that a couple times.
Yeah, and
too,
I bet you
no not credit card wise. I'll just like pick up games here and there, but
That is bad debt.
that's
Yes,
bad,
because you got to think
bad
about
debt.
it. You're paying on credit card, but you're also probably getting like a 20% APR like increase on that interest.
And-
So it's like $200, and you're getting another $25 out of that every month.
Yeah.
That is the worst debt you could ever have.
Not-
in my opinion, just to hop in on that, and I'll let you keep going, but like credit card debt, first of all, I have no personal credit card.
Same.
If I don't have the money to buy
Good debt, though.
something,
Yeah.
right. If
On
I don't-
home.
Yeah, no, that's good debt. That's
Yeah.
totally different. But credit cards, like if I don't have the money to go buy something, I'm not going to borrow from somebody else to go buy this thing, unless of course it's a home or something. That's different.
Yes.
But just day to day, like something like that, I would not use a credit card ever for that. I would only buy something like that if I had that money myself to do that.
Yeah.
To me, that's really bad debt.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I was talking to our
Is this you that you're talking about?
No, go.
a friend of mine. His name's Jicky on the channel pixelgamesquad.
After I said that, Ricky just goes, "Yeah, that's bad." So I'm like, "Oh shoot,
I
is
have
that
one
you?"
credit card and that's it. And I think it's only $1,000, and I'm like, I don't use it.
Really?
card.
Really? I mean, there are ways of managing credit. It's just, are you using it for certain things the right way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like for me, like if I'm using a credit card, I know I'm going to pay it off at the end of the month because I'm saving 4% on a purchase, right? There are ways of it. And then when you have a credit line, it like over time, when you have more credit and more years on it, it'll make it more available for you to get a loan or something like that. For me, in my age, it's crucial to have credit because right now you're like buying a home is not a thing.
Yeah.
So like they want to see longevity of how long you've had that credit and make sure that you are punctual on your payments.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just
So-
have always felt like the credit cards there's a reason why they're always everywhere you go to Home Depot.
Yeah.
You want to sign up for a credit card?
Oh, yeah.
was that
Oh, yeah.
Michael's
They're
the
in it
other
to
day.
win,
You want
bro.
our
Yeah,
Michael's
well,
credit card? I'm like, no, I don't want
Yes,
that.
I was going to buy more arts and crafts next
Yeah.
month.
The reason why they do that is because you're borrowing it and they already know they're going to tax you or put interest on you for 20%.
But they make zero typically if you pay that off every month. They're always
Yes.
banking on you
Not paying.
being a human being, overspending, and
Yeah.
not being able to pay it.
And that's why-
that's their gamble
Yeah.
constantly.
And that's why
to
being your
me,
own bank matters, right?
I have always lived by, well, not always, because I got myself in a credit card debt when I was younger than you, just using credit card all the time and racked up like 10 grand in bills. And then I was like, damn, I can't pay this off. Then I started getting hit with the 20%.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I got paid that thing off, and then I was like, never again. I'm only going to spend money that I have.
I will say
That's
thank you
it.
to my wife ever since we were engaged. We've been together. We've been married almost 18 years, together for years before that. Basically my entire life since I was 16, I've been with her. She has always taken care of the bills, and she has never, ever have we owed anything on a credit card. Except from a home or buying a car, which actually we bought cash last time. Yeah. Hooray for my wife. Thank you, Lord. I'm not being prideful. Thank you. I always feel like that. But she's just been so good with it. She's the same way. She's like, we're not spending on frivolous things unless we have the money to pay for it right now. And that's how she's always been much better than I was. I would have been probably in a ton of debt if it wasn't for her, because I was like, I got money. Video games, Whee!
And you guys did it for 10 years without even selling anything.
Yeah.
So like having financial stability through that time, kudos to you guys. But for me, like, if I didn't resell at like 15, I might just be still in student debt and all that stuff.
That's why our show back in the day was like, the big item was like, should I buy this $20 game? I think I'm doing it, Ricky. That was the hype last time.
Yeah, it's just not the same anymore with the cost of living going up and all that stuff. And you can't really buy a house.
Inflation.
And we can't buy a house with blueberries and acorns anymore. Now it's like...
Yeah, bro. Tulips. I think they used tulips back in the day. That's like currency.
Long time ago, yeah.
Tulips on. You know,
but I mean, like, you never know, like, how the market's going to be. That's the only reason why you would want to have good credit. You'd be able to pull the equity out at any time. But for me, it's like, I just want to have a good credit line so that when I do need a loan for that type of stuff, I might be able to acquire that stuff. So,
you know, I hear that a lot. Like, well, I should have credit cards, you know, because I need to build my credit.
Yes.
I think your credit will be good. If I was a bank and I wanted to come to you and you have never had a credit card, you know, I might still want to lend to you versus the guy that's like, well, I have 5 credit cards and all, you know, I could go blow all this money. Like having a lot of credit card lines open doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, always be such a good thing.
No, and I'm not saying it is.
You maybe paid it, but I don't know how much it would improve your credit.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's more...
I could be wrong on that.
I would say more it's on the impact, like, right? So, like, if you don't have, like, an annual fee on your thing, that's why I have my credit. Because I want to have that available funds to show that, like, I am smart with it, even though I didn't spend anything.
Well, one thing I've heard they're talking about doing is putting rent on your credit report, which I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. I had heard about
Dude,
that.
I need it. It's probably more than half your guys' mortgages.
If you're paying your rent and you have a job, that's really what I would think the banks would want to see more than anything. Not that, oh, you have a $5,000 American Express card that you pay off every month. I don't know how much that
and as we continue this topic, let's make it very clear that everyone's financial situations are different. We're not judging you. You should do it this way. My way works. You're younger. You live this way. I live that. Everybody's is different. But the common thread in all this is whatever situation you're in, whether you have money, don't have money, you own a house, you don't, this and that, you need to put due diligence and time into making sure that you're being financially responsible with whatever your situation is. Even if you're making this much compared to the other guy, you still need to learn how to make this much make sense for you.
Oh, yeah. And I'm saying it more for, like, as in for the viewer and the listener, as in more of an experience fact. Like, you guys are all, there was different markets at every year we've aged, right? Like, you've had your 2008 recession, then you have now, like, I don't even know what it is now.
I bought during that.
It's like the increase of interest of life right now. So one of those things that's just like, I just want to like kind of put like kind of blueberries, tits for tats out there, you know what I mean? Where it's like tits for tats.
Just kidding. It's always such a weird expression.
I know it. But like one of those things, like, what are like some of the recommendations you would have for somebody going into something to be responsible, like when they want to buy games and they might not have the money? Like, how would you like? Would you put them to like a financial advisor, or how would you go about it?
I would say before you even go into a financial advisor, you need to look at life as it depends on your situation. If you're single, whatever it is, but I always look at it like, try not to be selfish when you're thinking when it comes to money, right? Because a lot of times our first response is, well, I want, or I would like, right? As married guys, you know, I would like. Well, hold on. Before you say I would like, what we would like, my family would like, what would benefit. I think there's so much into that'll help set you back from being like, well, I really want this new Nintendo game just because I want it, right? Yeah. I really want it though. You don't get it. Like, I never get the chance to buy this game for $2,000. Like, I never get the chance. It's one of the rarest games. I really want it, but is it the time? Is it the time? If it's not the time, go emulate the freaking game, you know, to hold you over. But if it's about the item, you have to make sure that it makes, talk to your family for big, you know, decisions. I fear for any man who makes a decision like that without, you know, telling, you know, the significant other, which I think, Ricky, Ricky, that's what a marriage is, bro. You're married as one, dog.
I mean, it only happened once.
What was it? Which one? I'm sure I've done it too. Don't worry, I'm not judging. You didn't tell her about the Mario statues? That's like the most obnoxious. That could have been. That's probably the most obnoxious thing you could have showed up with without telling her. Because it's not wait. Honey, I bought this $5,000 mouse and it won't be in the way, but you come home with statues that are 4 feet tall.
But he also had me in his ear. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna have another chance
You
of this.
idiot.
But here's the thing: sometimes you do have to take that chance.
Yo, hey, I was with Ricky.
Curtis isn't
Hey,
financial
no,
advice.
dude,
Just do it.
dude. This was one of those things. I was like,
Here's
if
my
Ricky
credit
didn't do
card.
it, I was like, I'll do
Ricky,
it.
I'm in serious debt and struggling, but dude, that would be a good decision.
Yeah.
and here's
hey,
my-
that's
here's
good
my-
debt though.
That was the
Here's
first
my
time
credit
that I wasn't,
card.
like, in like because me and him, we for the longest time I only had $30-$40 for the swap. That was
Oh yeah,
it.
that was us for,
for
like
the
our-
whole weekend.
That was like early marriage though,
Yeah.
and that's how it works.
Yeah, so I mean, we finally got like that little push. Like I finally make that extra income. So I
Yeah.
after I got him, I had explained to her like, listen, this is almost like an investment because these things, I mean, they go up in price, right?
That's what gamblers say.
All right,
No, but like, hey, if you could, if I know you might have the opportunity to sell one, bro. So this
That's
is
true.
me pushing my finger on you a little.
But it didn't break the bank for you.
No.
It's not like you're going to lose your house.
No,
So
they didn't eat for like 6 months, but they're fine now.
I want a cup of noodle for a year, but I'm good.
She was having
And-
cup of noodles.
But
last
I would
time.
say it was still within your means then.
It was
I
still
think
within
that
my
would
means
be
for
the
now.
thing, buy stuff and collect within your means. If you're going on credit cards and maxing out credit cards, you're probably not collecting within your means.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. That don't take on bad debt, which is again
Yeah.
credit cards
Yeah.
would be the worst. To buy for a hobby.
Yeah.
It's just not the best decisions in my opinion.
And again, respectful to everyone
Yep.
out there, whatever situation you're in, that life is this for everybody. So
Yep. And I just
We
wanted to
were like this
reiterate it. Just be as responsible as you can be. I mean, it's obviously your
Yeah.
life. Make your decisions.
Yeah.
But you know what? Don't go into debt over it.
yeah, don't go get over it.